production of Trailer Park Boys, which is a Canadian show, and our show was going to be called Moonshine. I'm Dan. Alright, so Trailer Park Boys is a Canadian show set in Nova Scotia. It's pretty much got no plot, but there are subplots in it for each episode, but it's not one of those shows where an episode will leave you with cliffhangers, so you have to come back next week. It's just a comedy show. With lots of cursing, we are showing some clips, so if you're offended, then I'm sorry, put the earmuffs on. Right here we have a list of our main characters. Julian is pretty much the main protagonist of the show. He is smart, but just about as smart as Trailer Park goes. And this is his best friend Ricky, who's not smart at all. Julian kind of doesn't like to hang around Ricky a lot because they're always getting in trouble. This is Mr. Leahy, the park supervisor. Not really a park supervisor, professional park supervisor. He doesn't have a problem of his own. That's just his title, and he overuses it. And that's Randy, Mr. Leahy's assistant, who's never wearing a shirt in a single episode throughout the whole show. And that's Bubbles, Ricky and Julian's friend, who's got a lot of cats and a slight mental disability. Now, this is Julian. We decided Julian was going to be played by the part of Louis C.K. And because Julian in the show is kind of pushing society away from him, or at least everyone in the trailer park. He understands that the trailer park is not the ideal place to be in life. There are better places. So for a while, he starts trying to get out, go to college so he can get a degree. So I have a video right here, kind of gives you an idea of how Julian is not really part of the park.
Julian, Mr. Leahy here. Wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. Some gunshots, reprobate living in the car in front of your trailer, and oil leaking from said car. I'll come by and see you real soon, Julian. All the best.
Next message.
Julian, Ricky, here's what's going on, buddy. All right, I just found out about a really good business opportunity, and I want to go down to the pit like old Tom so they can talk to you, but get your advice. But I think this is a good opportunity for me to get some money to start buying some dope equipment, and hopefully buy Lucy a ring at some point, and maybe get married or whatever. So give me a call. It's a really important question I have to ask you, and I have to ask this question to you today.
Next message.
Hey, Julian, it's me. Here's the headline. Ricky and I are totally over. You know, maybe it would be a different story if, like, it was a permanent thing, I had a ring on my finger or something, but I don't, so, you know, whatever. You should call me, because I'm just sitting here all alone, getting drunk, and, you know, you can come by if you want. I got lots of rum.
So that's kind of an idea. Julian is not really, you know, as up to everybody else. Is just, you know, running around the park and causing a menace everywhere. He just likes to sit in his own trailer, kind of do his own thing. And Louis C.K., if you guys are familiar with him, he's a stand-up comedian. He kind of has the same sort of dark comedy where picks apart society and every single problem it has. So here's a clip from Louis C.K.'s show, Louis, to kind of give you a good sense of how it relates to this character.
No one was even listening to me in there. What? Cover your vagina? You mean like hide it? Try this.
It's totally Yanada.
I know. Una pana, Stephanie.
I'm a Danana. I totally got a Danana up and out the bar. I love stupid. I don't know no mother. I don't want to Obama.
Hana Donna Batana.
What?
Madonna.
Coffee, please. It's coffee.
What upon a child?
That.
Republicans.
Yanada Donna Anatanana.
So as you can see, both of those characters kind of just more of an introvert type, and they're both wearing black shirts in the picture, so that's probably now our next character is Ricky. Ricky, like I said earlier, is Julian's best friend. Not the smartest. He's kind of always coming up with ways to try to make a big buck in the not so brightest way. Before they went to jail, he actually had a really big hydroponic pot supply going on, and he pretty much supplied everyone in the park, which is why we'll get into that later, why we call our adaptation Moonshine Park. And just to give you an example of why we chose Danny McBride to play him, it's mainly inspired by Danny McBride's role in Pineapple Express as Red. He kind of uses a lot, Ricky in the show kind of uses a lot of words that are considered Rickyisms, and they're based off of real phrases, but they're not actually real phrases. He messes them up and tries to use big words. So I'll show you an example of that with this video.
I just don't know how to express myself sometimes when I need to be properly different. Fuck. Number one, we're on probation, which is no big deal, but, you know, I don't really want to go back to jail. And number 2 or 3 or whatever number we're on, you know, he's getting all frustrated, and you can go to college and get your little PFD or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't care. Just remember, lady, what comes around is all around.
Don't you mean what's all around comes around, Ricky?
It's pretty effed up if you can't leave our daughter with my father for half an hour.
Well, it's pretty effed up. The last time Ray took character duty, she came home all effed up.
She had a few effing drinks.
Hey, lady, knock, knock. Who's there, Rick? Mr. Stupidity Head that's fucking pissing me off right now thinks he's the captain of the shit liner, and by the way, your fish sticks suck, so fuck off.
Looks like a tropical earthquake blew through here or something, man. What the fuck are you looking at, huh? Don't fucking stare at me. Leave my cat alone. Don't fucking stare at me.
He's gonna give us homemade hot dogs when we finish putting the signs up.
Why don't we give you some homemade fuck-offs right now?
What are you doing using your big school words? Just use normal people words and I'll understand what you're talking about.
Hey, Sam, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Get the fuck off the stage, you idiot.
Sublime command. Mr. Denial and Error would probably say knock, knock. He'd say who's there, and he'd say fucking idiot and tell you to fuck off. That's what I do.
Like little Prodigus.
It's Piranha, Rick.
That's what I said, Prodigus.
But the other thing is, it's a catch-23 situation.
It's not a ladybug, it's a caterpillar. Same as some of those sweet and powdered chicken things. And getting caught masturbating sucks. I got caught masturbating in jail 7 or 8 times. And it really sucks. Make like a tree and fuck off. If you make my words, I'm gonna get my grade 10.
All right, and for those of you who haven't seen Pineapple Express, this is a scene of Danny McBride. Danny McBride is the one that you see in that clip right there.
Herpes is for life, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna try to definitely put soap over here.
That's great.
A lot of time to hang out. I'm making a fucking cake.
No shit. Just ask him, man. What are you doing? Don't ask for a piece.
I can't have a piece of that?
No, you can't have a piece. This is private. Do you know what today is?
Tuesday.
This is my cat's birthday today.
I don't see a cat in here. I'm sorry. We let it out by accident?
No, because he died 3 months ago, okay? So now who's the funny guy? All right? Today is his birthday, and it is a tradition that on his birthday, I get up extra early and make him his favorite kind of dessert.
Don't worry, bro. Your cat's going to heaven.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he went to heaven. He was a little fucker. He could have gone to hell.
Why don't we talk, guys? Ask him. Just ask him, okay? Seriously.
Ask what? Just come straight. What's up?
Yeah, right. What's going on right now? We need to know about your source, Ted Jones. See, Dale here is a protest servant, and
that's not what I am.
Oh, well, he's not that, but he was outside Ted's
Whoa,
house.
whoa. Look, we don't want to bring you in to what we're in, okay? You don't want any trouble. We don't want to give you trouble. So it's probably best you don't know the whole story, okay?
You don't think I can handle danger?
What are you talking about?
You can.
I totally can. And for you to come into my house and not tell secrets because you think you're saving me, well, in reality, it just makes you look like a dumbass, okay? Because look at this. See this? You see that? There's no hair under here, bro. Okay?
What's the significance of that?
It makes me aerodynamic when I fight.
So yeah, we thought Danny McBride would be definitely a good pick for Ricky. And these are the last three characters that we were talking about that you've ever seen in the pilot. Mr. Leahy will be played by J.K. Simmons. Mainly, I just couldn't find a better bald guy to play him, and I could see him doing that. We saw the guy who runs the Daily Bugle and Spider-Man and a couple other movies. John C. Reilly would be Mr. Leahy's park assistant. I couldn't find a shirtless pic of John C. Reilly. You're welcome for that. So. And Bubbles would be played by Edward Barbanel, who is he's a good friend of Johnny Knoxville's. He appears in a lot of Jackass shows. One of the reasons we actually chose Edward Barbanel is because he actually has a mental disability, and that kind of, we thought that the actor who plays Bubbles he does not have a mental disability, and we thought that in America a lot of people would get a little offended if they saw someone who didn't have a mental disability playing someone with a mental disability. So we thought if we just had Edward Barbanel, who is a known actor with a mental disability, actually play the part of Bubbles, then we wouldn't get as much heat for it. And I'll just have a quick clip to show you a scene with all these three.
What's going on here, Mr. Leahy?
Putting on the market, bud.
Well, I thought we were trying to sell it to Julian.
Listen, at the price I'm asking, no one in their right mind's gonna buy it. Julian is never gonna let his grandmother's trailer be sold on the open market. We keep raising the price, Julian's gonna have to raise more money to buy it, and the only way Julian can raise money is breaking the law, Randy. Breaking it. The law, Randy. Breaking the law.
Then we'll catch him in a shit snare. Right, Mr. Leahy?
Hi there, Mr. Leahy. How you doing? Just having some drinks, are you?
Supervising the park, Bubs, that's what I do.
Everything's fine down here. Maybe you could supervise down that end of the park.
Not a problem, Bubs. I have to phone a real estate agent. I just remember. Thanks for reminding me. A lot of interest, Julian. Even at 12.5.
Don't fuck with me, Jim.
Second thought, Julian, maybe I will come with you. Not hang around here with that drunk bastard.
What'd you call me, Bubbles?
Nothing.
Get the fuck out of here, Leahy.
Nothing.
You know what a shit barometer is, Bob?
Oh?
Measures the shit pressure in the air. Get me feeling. Listen, Bubs. Hear that? Sounds of the whispering winds of shit.
What the fuck are you going on about?
Can you hear it?
No, I don't hear anything.
Oh, but you will, my sorry little friend, when the old shit barometer rises, and you'll feel it too. Your ears will implode from the shit pressure. You were warned, Bubs. But you picked the wrong side. Beware, my friend. Shit winds are a-coming.
So that's Mr. Leahy, Randy, and Bubbles. And this is the cast that we would have, the cast and list of actors we would have, just all in order so you can see them.
So the first episode, it opens with Ricky and Julian getting into a gunfight. It's not really clear why they're getting into a gunfight. They're just on the street and see somebody and start shooting at them. And then it cuts to them and they're getting out of jail. And Julian is saying how he wants to cut off ties from Ricky because he thinks that Ricky is the whole reason he's been in jail so many times. And Ricky, on the other hand, has the idea that he's going to get out of jail and start up his weed growing operation again with Julian. So when they get back to the park, it introduces all the other residents, and they go up and they're all curious as to why a camera's following them around. And they tell him it's just a camera guy, don't worry about him. And all of the people in the park tell Ricky and Julian about Cyrus, who's this guy that's kind of just moved into Julian's house. He doesn't really have any other part in the show besides in the first episode. He just moves into Julian's house. And so Julian is determined to kick Cyrus out of the park and out of his trailer so that he can move back into his own house. Ricky goes to meet up with his ex-girlfriend who he has a daughter with, and she's kind of just, she only wants the money that he had from when he was selling weed. She's not really interested in him. And towards the end of the episode, Julian goes to confront Cyrus, and he's out front of Julian's trailer, and all the other residents stand around as Cyrus puts a gun to Julian's head, and Julian basically just says, "You're not going to shoot me," and even like cocks the gun for Cyrus, and Cyrus just kind of stands there. So Julian takes the gun, and Cyrus leaves, and then it ends with Ricky asking Julian if he can stay in his car for a few nights. And he asks Julian if he can stay in his car for a few nights. Julian says, "Yeah, 2 days the most." And Ricky says, "All right, 2 weeks, promise he'll be out." And then it kind of just ends. Alright. So for our adaptation, we're going to be in the South U.S., in Alabama. So Canadian trailer park trash is a little bit different from American trailer park trash, with accents and just, I guess, how they are. I feel like Americans are a little bit more trashy than Canadians. And so we'll have it open up. We'll have the scene open up again in black and white, but instead of just being like a random gunfight, they'll be in a gunfight at their moonshine still, which is like the main change that we've made. Instead of them growing weed all the time, they're trying to make moonshine. And so it's Cyrus's, who's the guy who moves into Julian's house. It's his goons that attack their operation. So it kind of leads into a more developed character with Cyrus rather than just having him a random character who just appears for one episode. So they get into the gunfight with Cyrus and his goons, and they get arrested. And then it goes next scene to them getting out of jail, and Julian still trying to do nothing with Ricky. And they go back to the park, and same thing with everybody telling them that Cyrus has moved into the park, and he's just kind of running everything and making everybody's lives miserable because he has a gun, and everybody's terrified of him having a gun. And Ricky's trying to get back again with Lucy, but she only wants the money that he had from moonshining instead of growing weed. So in the first episode, he starts trying to get his moonshine operation running again so that he can get the money to see his daughter. And then with the confrontation of Julian and Cyrus, in the original episode, it wasn't really much. It was just him pointing a gun at Julian, and then Julian taking the gun from him, and he just left. So we thought that wouldn't really be enough action or drama for American television. So we have it that Julian slaps the gun away from Cyrus, and they start to fist fight, and while they're fighting, Bubbles picks up the gun and shoots it in the air, and it scares everybody off. And then because Cyrus doesn't have his gun, he doesn't really have control over anyone in the park, so then he leaves.
Alright, so in terms of production and broadcasting, it is going to be in America. In America, we do have those safe hours between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., and we do believe that the cursing of the show, as you can see, is very, very prominent. It is a big part of the show, and sometimes as editing curse words with bleeps does amplify the effect of cursing, we think that it should be a completely unedited and raw show. So we will allow the cursing, and if that's the case, then we do have to find a broadcaster to do that. So we chose IFC, 11 p.m. at night, so we're not working within those safe hours. Anytime it will be broadcasted within those safe hours, I guess it would have to be edited. Alright, and yeah, it's gonna be on Thursdays. I guess we just not that many good shows on Thursdays, so we're gonna change that. We would keep it 27 minutes to fit the 30-minute time slot, just like Trailer Park Boys does. The production group we chose to work with, or if this was the case, that would Broken Lister Group. They've done movies such as Super Troopers, Beer Fest, Slammin' Salmon, and it's like those 5 group of guys, and they do a lot of movies together. And the director is Jay Chandrasekhar, which is that Indian-looking guy from those movies, and the way his directing style is really would fit the Trailer Park Boys or Moonshine Park theme that we're trying to go after. We are going to keep it in a mockumentary style. That's also what kind of makes the show, and we really like about that show and the comedy about it. So we would only have 2 cameras with a boom mic, and there are times where the boom mic does sink into the camera shot, and so it gives the viewer the sense that there is a cameraman there. You're not watching it from just a ghost perspective. The cameramen are definitely part of the show. We even have the cameraman getting shot in one episode in a gunfight. The theme song is very calm and relaxing. In fact, a little bit too calm and relaxing for the idea of the show. It's in sepia, and it just kind of pans around the trailer park. And yeah, you can just play it, and you'll pretty much get the sense of it. We're gonna do the same thing, just with a banjo or southern theme.
So like, for a show that says like raunchy and like filled with cuss words and drugs and alcohol, you know, like this song doesn't really fit what you would expect for the opening theme. So it kind of like plays on your expectations.
So we would kind of just put a southern influence there. Maybe if we would change the piano to like a banjo or something, and maybe even play the same exact tone, then that would be our intro. That's it. Any questions?
I just wanted to.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, basically like what I did was the characters and kind of the history of the series. And so something that was interesting about it was that the series Trailer Park Boys actually started as a movie called Trailer Park Boys, and it's all done by, written and directed by Mike Clattenburg. And so there was a movie that actually Rob Wells and John Paul Tremblay, who played the two main characters in Trailer Park Boys, they both play the same characters in these other movies that came around in the late 90s. One was called One Last Shot, and then the other one was Trailer Park Boys. And so that was another thing that kind of went into why we kept the same mockumentary style, was because the whole thing, this show comes from a series of movies that were all done in that way. And so kind of wanted to stay true to that. The show that we're gonna shoot it on a built set, a trailer park set. And the reason was that when we did some research, we found that the first season of the show was shot in a real trailer park. But the guys didn't get invited to come back because the residents of the park were complaining about all the commotion and everything. But you know, further reading revealed that it actually kind of worked in their favor because building a set allowed them to do whatever they wanted, you know. And so that's kind of why we want to do that, like skip that step of even trying to enter a real trailer park. And so yeah, the character Bubbles was materialized from a character in another film called The Cart Boy that was kind of also part of these series of like One Last Shot and Trailer Park Boys. And so some of the, he was meant to just be a recurring character, but he soon became, you know, a fan favorite, and so they kept him as a main protagonist. And they kept a lot of the attributes from the Cart Boy through to Trailer Park Boys, which was like one of which was that he loves cats. For the characters that we chose, like the actors, like they already kind of went over it, but something that we also considered, it's a subtle, you know, thing, and I think everybody kind of hit on this, was going for people that are the same age group, because even though that's like a subtle thing, it can make, you know, a big difference in the whole production. Another thing was we went for people who were like known for comedy roles, like Louis C.K. is kind of known for his like dry sense of humor, and that's kind of the same kind of character that Julian plays. Same, Danny McBride is a little bit more eccentric, and Ricky's a little crazier too. So yeah, that was some of those interesting. So yeah, we considered like J.K. Simmons, the guy that they said was in the Spider-Man movies. He's also done movies and shows like Law and Order, but he's also played kind of humorous roles like in Spider-Man. So being able to do both those things kind of, you know, we figured he could easily play Mr. Leahy, who is a funny character unintentionally, who takes his job really seriously. So yeah, that's pretty much about the history of the show.
Questions?
Not really a question, but do you guys know what Blue Mountain State is?
Yeah, I love Blue Mountain State.
So the Indian guy who directed, who's going to be directing,
Yeah.
he's directing Blue Mountain State, the
The
movie.
movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just another perfect example of the same type of comedy.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks very much.